Hey everybody, it is me again, back at it with another video. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about my journey. I'm going to keep making these videos kind of updating you on the process, the achievements, the failures. I am like totally out of breath because I literally just got up to close my door and I am out of shape. Which will tie into one of the cons of this journey of mine, which is physical activity. I have been on the computer way too much. But anyway, I would like to get into the struggles and the successes of trying to turn my art into my living. So this is currently week 3 of English? Oh my gosh, I literally forget how to speak. This has been week 3 since I quit my internship, and I've just been at home practicing art, trying to post some images on Instagram, videos on YouTube. I've got some freelance work just from friends talking to friends and that friend needing something. So I wanted to kind of go over my current statistics. So I currently have 92 subscribers on YouTube as of September 14th, 2022. On Instagram, I have 240 followers. And in terms of how I feel about my art right now, I don't think I quite understand the three-dimensionality of a figure yet, where to put proper values, and how lighting affects objects well enough to really, start selling tips and stuff like on Patreon and things like that. I feel like I'm not ready for that right now. So I'm really trying to learn and understand so that I can become more of my own business. Because at the end of the day, I did quit my job and I'm trying to make this into a living. And this is just me sharing my journey so that maybe in the future when I have like 20 of these uploaded, like describing each like 2 weeks of my progress, it could possibly help someone who wants to do the same thing. Hopefully the progress will be a line going up, but who knows? It could be a very straight stagnant line. It could be a decline line. I think it really just depends on consistency, discipline, and keeping yourself motivated, because I will go on to kind of mention here how consistency is a huge deal when it comes to trying to gain a following and people who want to keep up with your artwork. If you are not consistent, people forget about you, and the algorithm probably forgets about you as well. But anyway, so let's get right into it. I kind of want to talk about the cons that I've been experiencing on week 3 of trying to grow my following and posting art and everything. First is waking up on time and waking up consistently. I have decided that I want to start my days at 6:30. I want to wake up at 6:30. I want to go for a walk, listen to an audiobook, make some coffee, get to work by 8. And by get to work, I mean literally sit down at my computer and start, the projects that I want to work on. As well as being an artist, I love writing. So I have like the first 2 hours of my day blocked off for writing, trying to write my book. It's a dream of mine to get a published book out there. A fiction book, of course, fantasy world and magic and whatnot. But the consistent part is really hard. There are days where even if I do wake up at 6:30 and I sit down at 8, I'm like, man, I just do not want to write. I kind of want to draw, and I give in and I start drawing. What should be like an hour drawing turns into a 4-hour drawing, and then where has my time gone? It went out the door. And if you want to like successfully grow, I don't think you can sporadically spend great lengths of time on a single thing. I think that actually cutting yourself off at a certain time makes you more hungry to start that project the next day. It keeps you inspired instead of burning out. I think if you spend 4 or 5 hours on a single painting because it's so fun, that can be great, but the next day you might be like, wow, like I still have so much longer to go. I'm not liking the way this looks. I can't believe I spent 5 hours on this. And I think you can get burnt out. But say that you only spend like an hour on that drawing. The next day, you might be like really excited to jump back into it because you stopped at a part where you really wanted to keep going. And I actually don't remember where I heard that tip, but I heard it somewhere. More specifically for writing, is you want to stop writing right when you get to like the good scene. And then the next day, you want to jump right back into that scene. And I think that can definitely apply to art as well. Not only does it keep you from getting like burnt out, it keeps you inspired. I'm literally giving myself tips right now on how to do it myself. Like, oh my gosh, okay. But will I do it? I don't know. I need to. I really do need to. So the first con, waking up on time. So waking up consistently has been really hard. I wake up at 6:30 on some days. Other days I have slept in till 1 p.m. because there is nothing but yourself to force you to get out of bed. Your passion is what gets you out of bed. There is no clocking in. There is no, time constraint where you have to be in an office. And it's hard. It's really hard. You need that discipline. For a while there, I was putting my alarm across the room. And it worked. It did work. And eventually I just started turning it off and jumping back into bed. So it's been rough. It's been rough. The next con that ties into this is sleeping schedule. Sometimes I stay up till 2 a.m., 3 a.m. It's not good when you're trying to wake up early. So if you are going to be trying to make art into your living, you need to, I think, have a healthy schedule. At least I do. Oh my gosh. The next con is sticking to my calendar and not letting one project take all my time up, which ties into exactly what I was saying before. This happens to me way too much and it burns me out. And those 3 other tasks that I wanted to get done don't get done because I spent way too much time on one task. The next con is physical activity, working out, going for walks. When you're sitting in a desk all day, I never listened to my teachers back in high school, college. I never listened to them when they said, like, it'll wear on your body. It will, definitely. You wouldn't think it would be like this, but my legs feel sore some days just because I don't move them enough. On the days that I do wake up at 6:30 and go for my walk and listen to my audiobook, my mood is improved tenfold because I got out into the sun, nice fresh air, listening to a really cool book, and moving my legs. It gets your heart going and it wakes up your body. And the days that I sleep in past the time that I want to do that, I feel a lot more depresso espresso, And the next struggle is video games. For a while there, I think 2-3 months, I went without playing video games at all because I was working my internship and I would get home and have very little time to work on my passions, so I would work on my passions. Now that I don't have an internship to go to, I have a little bit more free time to like wiggle video games in there, and I think that's actually very healthy to like give yourself maybe 2 hours maximum. I would say maybe 3 if you really have enough free time to just play some video games and relax at the end of the day. I would definitely make sure it's at the end of the day, because if you get your dopamine going really like high on video games early in the day, you won't want to sit down and put in hard work on something that takes a lot more effort. So I would say video games until the end of the day. I think it's very healthy to just relax and do some fun things, but it's been getting a little bit out of control for me, where I've spent I think 6 hours straight playing video games at night. I did my work in the morning, like I definitely did, but then I binged video games at the end of the day, and the next day I woke up, I wanted to play a video game, and it's like, I don't want to reignite an addiction. I want to make art and grow my skill set, and it's really hard to do that if you don't figure out how to balance it with your high dopamine activities, because your brain will just really want that high dopamine you get from video games. The next one is drawing and posting every day. I have like spurts where I'm really good at it. I draw for 1 hour, I stop drawing, and I post it. Next day, draw for an hour, stop drawing, post it. And then depending on how those posts do, I lose motivation. Some reels that I post on Instagram get 7,000 views, pretty good amount of likes, and I'm like super excited. It gets my dopamine going, you know? And the next day I want to do that again. But then maybe it doesn't perform as well. Sometimes on Instagram, my reels get like 100 views and no likes. And it's kind of like, what? It's like, it's all up to the algorithm. And it can burn you out when you work a good portion of time on something that you're really passionate about and you love. And to see that nobody sees it, it can like demotivate you a lot. And so the next day, I just don't want to do it, and I don't. And it's consistency is key. And I'm this is like definitely kind of like a video diary where I'm like, get to work, I have to do this. Ugh. The next struggle, of course, that I've been mentioning throughout all of this is burnout. I'm not going to talk anymore on that because I totally just mentioned it a ton. The last kind of struggle I want to touch on is impatience. I find myself wanting to finish a piece really quickly and to post it because it's a flip of a coin if it gets seen or not, really, you know, when you're like a small profile with not that many followers. And so I'm like, let me just finish this really quickly. If it gets views, yay. If not, it doesn't matter because I only spent like less than an hour on it. And you don't really learn when you do that. And I think it has been impacting my passion and consistency on my growth. So I've been like trying to complete pieces really quick rather than like just sitting back and enjoying the process and like actually learning. When I did this Jinx fan art right now that's playing, I was in a call on Discord with my friends just talking and enjoying this process. It took me like 5-6 plus hours. And I think I learned a great deal and I really enjoyed it because I just took my time. It wasn't for anyone really. Then I posted it and literally got barely any views. And that kind of stabbed me in the heart. And I'm like, ugh, I love it. I think this is one of the best pieces I've ever done. And nobody saw it. But here I am making this video. I'm trying to stay motivated. And I think that's just the reality of trying to be your own boss as an artist. You have to push through not getting views on one thing because you never know. Your next post might blow you up. Like, you have no idea. So you have to keep going. So anyway, let's get into some pros. I believe that my art has slowly been improving. I do think so. Maybe not as quick as I would like. But when I see some of my art getting likes and people commenting on it, in my brain I'm like, oh, I can do so much better than this. Like, I know it. I know that I can. And it fuels me up to like start diving into learning like way more. So that's a really nice cycle. But then again, you know, when you don't get a lot of views, it's like it demotivates you. But we have to look at the pros and really focus on the pros. Are you gonna like focus on your video only getting 100 views? Or are you going to focus on that one comment that says, oh my gosh, I love this, right? Focus on that comment, not the other negatives, right? And of course, the next pro in success, I would say, is growth. Any growth is positive. Whether it's 2 followers, whether it's 30 views on a video, it is a growth. It is more views and followers than you would have had if you never posted. And that is something I firmly believe. Of course, if you post a piece of art on social media and it gets thousands of views, obviously that's like a really nice thing to have. But even if it only gets a couple views, that's more views than if you wouldn't have shared it. And I think that's a big key to staying positive. And this is kind of awkward because I really don't have any more pros. This was a lot of cons and not a lot of pros. But that doesn't mean I'm not happy. Like, the interactions that I've been getting may not be a ton, but there have been a couple really awesome people in the comments that inspire me a ton. And you only need 1 or 2 people to like really enjoy it for you to keep going. And those 2 people might turn into 4, might turn into 10, etc. You know, you just have to keep going. I know that a lot of people say this, but if you just keep going, you will be successful. I think it honestly just depends on what success is for you. For some people, being successful is being a billionaire. For some people, it's just being happy. For some people, it's 1,000 followers. For some people, it's 300,000 followers. But success is success, because at the end of the day, 0 followers is probably not really successful, right? Because you're trying to grow. But 10 followers, you are more successful than you were at 0. And that's my outlook on things right now. Honestly, it'll always be like that. Even during the hard times, I know that I've grown, and that's what keeps me going. Is just, even after I post this video, it may only get 30 views, it may get 100 views, I don't know. But it is success, because it's better than 0 views, you know? I say you know a lot, I apologize. But that is pretty much the end of this video. So once or twice a month, I want to post these videos documenting my growth, just to kind of show how it's definitely not like a quick process. It's a slow growth, and if you are consistent, I definitely believe it'll work out, and hopefully these videos show that. So thank you for watching. If you would like to follow me on Instagram, that's where I will be. And yeah, I will see you guys again. Bye.